Hello, everybody. It is time for WCW Bash at the Beach in July 1997. A big card ahead of us in this episode. Of course, the main event, Brian Pillman defends his WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho. We also have the tag team titles on the line. Steve Austin and Owen Hart taking on Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman. We have the U.S. title on the line. Dean Malenko defending against Steven Regal. Women's titles on the line as Megumi Kudo defends against Dynamite Kansai. We have the television championship on the line as Lance Storm challenges Brad Armstrong. We have that big tag team matchup, Bret Hart and Paul Levesque of the New World Order taking on Ric Flair and Barry Windham, as well as so much more here tonight. We open up in front of an unreasonable, ungodly 96,000 people in the Mid-South, apparently. As the commentators talk about tonight's show, kind of going over some of the matches that we just talked about there, as well as the rest of the card. Got a 78 rating. Before we dive into the opening contest, which I can't remember exactly which opening contest I ended up sticking with. Okay, we stuck with this one. So, in a decent matchup, Rikishi Fatu defeats Curt Hennig in 11-10 by pinfall. Fatu finally getting that one-on-one matchup with Curt Hennig and able to get the victory here. During the matchup, we also saw Sexton Hardcastle attack Curt Hennig. So, Hardcastle turned his back on the guy who was trying to mentor him, who was trying to consider him his protege and all that. We're not sure what's going on with that, but 72 rating. 69 from Hennig, 65 from Fatu. The storyline comes to an end here with Fatu getting the clean victory, well, cleanish victory, to end the feud here and kind of go from there. So 72 rating, nice way to start off the show as Rikishi Fatu is able to get the victory, and we'll have to see where he moves on from here. Then we'll find out that there is a brawl happening backstage as Too Cold Scorpio, Ron Simmons, and Rocky Maivia are getting into it with the Flock. There's a big old six-man brawl happening backstage. It does get announced during this that Roddy Piper has made a match for Nitro tomorrow night. It'll be Raven going one-on-one with Ron Simmons, so we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. But 59 rating here, not great, but, you know, with the people involved, especially with Rocky Maivia, who isn't super over at this point, that kind of makes sense. So, but yeah, big old brawl here between those two sides. Then after that, television championship on the line, 66 rating as Lance Storm defeats Brad Armstrong in 9:52 by submission with a single leg crab to win the television championship in a bit of a surprise upset there. And also, as you see there, during the match, Sexton Hardcastle ran in and attacked Brad Armstrong. So it seems as if Hardcastle found someone else to be associated with in a way, because he turned his back on Curt Hennig, the guy who was apparently, you know, being a mentor for him for the last few weeks, only to show up to help Lance Storm win the television championship. So 66 rating here, 70 for Brad Armstrong, 53 from Lance Storm. Storm's obviously going to need to be built up a little bit, but that's fine because honestly, Armstrong kind of got to the point where he was, I don't want to say he outgrew the TV title, because the TV title is still, you know, a respectable title in WCW, but I kind of want to move him on to bigger and better things at this point, and that would be beyond the TV title. So 66 rating as Lance Storm is the new WCW World Television Champion here on Bash at the Beach. Afterwards, Storm is celebrating with Itsuku Mita and Sexton Hardcastle as Brad Armstrong and Medusa are look frustrated in that defeat. 54 rating here, as we'll have to see why Sexton Hardcastle is celebrating with Lance Storm and Mita. We'll have to see what ends up happening there. Then after that, tag team matchup, 62 rating, sees Big Bubba Rogers and Shane Helms defeat the Outlaws in 10:29 when Rogers pins William Weston after using a foreign object. This is a feud that's been going on kind of on Saturday night, but essentially it's kind of a battle of two losing teams. The Outlaws haven't won a lot recently, neither have Rogers and Helms, so kind of a feud going on with that. And Rogers and Holmes get the victory here via a tainted, foreign object finish, but still get the victory. So 61 from Rogers, 55 from Weston, 54 from Smith, and 48 from Shane Helms. As Rogers and Helms get the victory here on pay-per-view. Then after that, we have an interesting little segment backstage. I forgot to include Booker in this, so it didn't advance the storyline, but you know what? That's fine. As Dusty Rhodes left the commentary table during the last match, and he's approached his son backstage. He says, "Why? Why did you turn on Booker? Why are you, acting this way?" Dustin just kind of looks at him, and then just attacks him, just lays him out. He just starts beating him up backstage. Officials have to come running in to separate the two, but Dusty Rhodes gets taken out backstage by his own son, and kind of takes him off of commentary for the rest of the night. He ends up getting replaced by Mike Tenay. So Tenay's going to be taking over commentary table the rest of the night with Tony Schiavone and Booker T. 84 rating here as Dustin has attacked his dad, and we're not sure what's going on, but he does have a match with Booker T here tonight in a couple of matches, I believe. After that, a random cruiserweight title matchup happens. That sees Alex Wright defeat Silver King in 8:57 by submission with an STF, making defense number 4 of the Cruiserweight Championship. 64 rating for the match. 61 from Alex Wright, 51 from Silver King, who's making his debut. Got a poor rating for his Rudo gimmick. It's what it is. I'm sure he'll get better, but Silver King signed to WCW on a handshake deal. He's here, and he tries to put up a fight against Alex Wright, but is unable to get the job done as Alex Wright retains the Cruiserweight Championship here in a nice 64 rated matchup. Might be seeing a few more people who would fit in the Cruiserweight division showing up in WCW in the near future. We'll kind of see where things go from there. Then after that, Women's Championship on the line. Dynamite Kansai, after a distraction from Ted DiBiase, defeats Megumi Kudo in 11:21 by pinfall at the Splash Mountain to become the new WCW Women's World Champion. That's right. We have a new champion in the women's division. For the first time since Starrcade of last year, somebody other than Megumi, new is holding that championship. Megumi Kudo with an impressive 7-month reign with the championship. Turned back a lot of challengers along the way, but Kansai with Ted DiBiase at ringside was just too much to fight off that whole thing, and Kansai is the new champion. She is the new champion. 58 rating here, 53 from Dynamite, and 64 from Kudo. Yeah, Kudo still, for those out there who are freaking out, oh my god, what the hell, Kudo's still kind of the ace of the women's division. Don't worry. She's still kind of the ace of the women's division, but I didn't want to give her like a 25-year title reign or whatever at this point. She had a nice long title reign, defeated a lot of challengers, and she's still going to be right there in the title picture. She might win it back the very next time they fight. You never know, but I wanted to eventually get the second winner, or the second ever women's champion thing out of the way. Like, somebody had to eventually defeat Kudo for it, and in this case it's kind of a good thing too, because Kudo lost not necessarily cleanly. She lost after Ted DiBiase provided a distraction, so they had to kind of use the odds against her in order to get that championship off of her finally. But Dynamite Kansai bringing gold back to the New World Order, this time in the form of the WCW Women's World Championship. 58 rating here. Afterwards, Kudo looks on in shock about what just happened as Kansai celebrates with the championship. 61 rating here. Nice stuff there. As, yeah, Kudo's just kind of left in shock. Like, this is the first time since December that she's not been the Women's World Champion here in WCW. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. Then after that, 80 rating for this matchup. Pretty good. I'll take that for sure. Not that had great heat and good wrestling. Dustin Rhodes ends up taking a loss to Booker T in 11:19 by pinfall, the quick roll-up. So Booker T won, but it was with a roll-up to do so. 80 rating for the match, 81 from Dustin Rhodes, 70 from Booker T. Why is Booker T struggling in ring-wise so much? It's kind of weird. I want to look at this really quick here. Low morale and inconsistency. So his morale's a little low. Yeah, for some reason he's irritated about missing a show like 3 months ago. I don't know why. Whatever. But he gets a victory here on pay-per-view. Then after that, we go to a 91 rated street fight. Oh my goodness. As an exceptional matchup, because there's not enough selling shown, it suffered, but that's all right. The Giant defeats Cactus Jack in a one-on-one street fight in 742 by pinfall with a choke slam. 91 rating for this street fight. There was going to be a segment kind of highlighting the history of these two before this, but I didn't end up doing it. But the Giant gets the victory in just about 8 minutes. This was a wild brawl, so that's kind of why the Giant was a little bit lower. I feel like he would have been a little bit higher if it was just a normal match, but this was a wild brawl. Cactus tried to put up a fight, but he ended up getting chokeslammed. We're going to say he got chokeslammed through a table to end up getting the loss there. So 91 rating as Cactus takes the loss here. Giant finally is able to kind of defeat his demon, so to speak. He's finally able to defeat Cactus Jack after not being able to do so for so long. Then after that, we have a interesting little segment backstage where Steve Austin is being interviewed by Gene Okerlund. Okerlund reveals that he heard that before the show tonight, Owen Hart was actually jumped by the New World Order in the parking lot area. And is potentially out for an extended amount of time. Steve Austin does confirm this. He says that those sons of bitches got to Owen before he could help him out. He feels bad about it. So he's going to go out there and he's going to defeat those two pieces of trash over in a handicap match. And then all of a sudden, that's when Diamond Dallas Page shows up. And Page says, hey, whoa, Austin, look, Steve, look, you and I, we've had a little bit of history here in WCW. But, like, you can't go out there on your own against the New World Order. We know how the New World Order operates. I know how the New World Order operates. I wasn't a part of them, but I know how they operate. You need backup. It's a tag team championship for a reason. How about I temporarily fill in? Until Owen can come back, how about I fill in and team up with you against the New World Order here tonight? If you don't like it afterwards, that's fine. We can go our different ways. But just give me one chance. Give me one chance. Austin kind of says, well, I'd rather go fight them on my own, but you know what? You might make a little bit of a good point, Paige. So, tell you what, you can come out here tonight. I can't promise I'm going to tag you in because I'm going to be whooping their candy asses. I'm going to be stomping a mud hole in their stupid asses, whatever. But I will let you stand on the corner and tag in, maybe tag in and out here and there. So there you go, 97 rating for the segment as we have officially changed the tag titles to in possession of Steve Austin and Diamond Dallas Page at this point. For those who are confused as to why this is going on, you didn't watch the last episode, or at least you didn't watch the full length of the last episode, because at the end of the episode before this one, we found out that Owen Hart has been abusing painkillers, and so he got sent off to rehab. So we had to write him off on screen, and so this is our way of writing him off on screen. He got attacked by the New World Order and is out for an undetermined amount of time. And so Diamond Dallas Page is stepping in as the temporary fill-in for Owen Hart. Steve Austin and Diamond Dallas Page are the tag team champions, defending against the New World Order. Oh my God. I mean, Austin carried the match, yes, but my God. In a 97 rated matchup, Steve Austin and Diamond Dallas Page defeat Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman in 1302. When Austin pinned Lynn with a stunner, making defense number 1, technically, of the tag team titles. I probably should have gone into and just changed the champions before doing this segment. I should have just changed it in there, and then because I could have continued the same reign, but whatever. So there you go. Austin and Page making defense number 1 of the tag team titles here. Austin carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. He had a 95, but Page had an 82. Jerry Lynn had an 84 rating. Let me make sure all of you in the back here have heard about this. Jerry Lynn had an 84 in-ring performance. My God, he is a goddamn masterpiece at this point. And Sean Waltman got a 77. It's Jerry Lynn. Dude, I am so proud to have built up Jerry Lynn in this save from around the 40 in-ring performances to up to an 84 now on pay-per-view. Like, I have plans for him heading forward, but I feel like I might have to change them slightly and give him a better position of stuff. Because, like, I don't know, like an 84 in-ring performance, for the story I had planned for him, almost feels like he's too good for that story. Like, I might have to change the story some for him. I'll have to think about it, but my God, an 84 in-ring performance. Like, how the hell are you supposed to stop Jerry Lynn at this point? 97 rating for the match itself, which is very fantastic, as Austin and Paige are able to get the victory. Afterwards, there's kind of an awkward celebration as Paige is, getting really happy about the fact he's raising the tag team title in the air, because, of course, this is the first time he's had a championship in a long time in WCW. Really long time period. And Austin's just kind of keeping an eye on him as he kind of raises his championship as well. So 71 rating here. Kind of is what it is there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the Paige and DDP continuation of this odd couple storyline heading forward. Then after that, United States Championship on the line, a 95 rating, as Dean Malenko defeats Steven Regal in 14:48 by pinfall, making defense number 5 of the U.S. title. 98 from Dean Malenko. 98 in-ring performance from Dean Malenko. And an 87 for Steven Regal. Like, I have people who are just having absolutely banger performances in the ring that I feel like are being underutilized, but the top of the card is already too full as it is. Like, Dean Malenko should probably be fighting for the world title, but like, all those other people are right there too. So it's like, what the hell, man? Like, what do I do there? Nevertheless, the U.S. title storyline has continued on, gaining great heat there. Gaining heat there, I can't talk. Steven Regal is working through his injuries still. Man, if Steven Regal wasn't injured right now, dude, these guys could have had a 100 rating. If Regal wasn't injured, he would have had at least a 90-something in-ring performance. And with their great chemistry, they could have had a 100 rated match. Like, just insane. Dean Malenko making defense number 5 of the U.S. title. Clearly with the storyline, I don't know for sure if the storyline's done for at this point. We're going to have to see, but just absolutely great stuff there from these two. Afterwards, Malenko is celebrating when Steven Regal looks angry and ends up jumping him from behind, beating him down, leaving him laid out and clearly proving that he's not done with Dean Malenko in the U.S. title yet. 84 rating for that segment there. Then after that, turns out that Meng has attacked Jesse James Armstrong backstage, left him bloodied, laid out in the back area as security officials come in to try to separate things. As clearly Meng is on a path to go for Jesse James Armstrong at this point. Remember, he dispatched of the Armstrongs last Monday night on Nitro. We're going to have to see where things go from here for this. But 71 rating here. As Jesse James Armstrong, he's trying to be the good guy. He's trying to fight off this monster, but his backup has been kind of dispatched at this point. He's got to go one-on-one with him, and this kind of shows that he might not be able to go one-on-one with Meng. We'll have to see. Then after that, tag team action. Oh, I got a 91 because Flair and Wyndham don't work well as a team. That kind of sucks. But in about to have great heat and good wrestling, Bret Hart and Paul Levesque defeat Barry Windham and Ric Flair in 1607. When Hart got Wyndham to submit to a sharpshooter after Ted DiBiase caused interference. So another kind of cheaper victory for the New World Order here tonight. Bret head and shoulders above everyone. Barry Windham was weak link only because of the tag thing. I mean, he would have been the weak link regardless, but it wouldn't have been that big of a weak link if it hadn't been for the lack of tag chemistry between Wyndham and Flair. Because Flair obviously would have had a 90-something in-ring performance as well if it wasn't for that tag chemistry. But Hart and Levesque get the victory here in a 91 rating. So the New World Order gets one up on the Horsemen and WCW really by getting the victory in this matchup here. Afterwards, Hart and Levesque are celebrating the victory while Flair is losing his mind about the fact that they just lost. Not happy about that. Kind of, more so not happy about the fact that it was DiBiase that interfered in that match. Because during the match, Marcus Bagwell, Marika Ishida, and Eric Bischoff had all showed up at ringside. So it's kind of a clusterfuck, so to speak. But somehow through all the chaos, DiBiase was still able to cause a distraction there. 84 rating, as Flair is not happy about what just happened here. Then after that, Stevie Ray is ready for his matchup. Remember his match tonight. If he wins, he gets a shot at any championship here in WCW. If he loses, he is gone from WCW. Missy Hyatt says that if you're going to be a great here in WCW, if you're going to turn things around, be a great, you're going to have to defeat somebody else who's on a bit of a losing streak recently, who's kind of suffered recently, but someone who is able, who is a threat big enough to be in the way of any title opportunity you might get. And then she reveals the opponent to be Sting. So it's going to be Sting and Stevie Ray here tonight at Bash at the Beach. And in a 79 rated matchup, Sting defeats Stevie Ray 920 by pinfall, the Scorpion Death Drop. 80 from Sting, 55 from Stevie Ray. And there you go. Stevie Ray takes the loss, and he is gone from WCW. Afterwards, he is fired from WCW and is dragged off by security as Missy Hyatt, obviously frustrated. She thought that doing this would get the fire on her client here, but unfortunately it did not. And Stevie Ray is gone. Peeling back the curtain a little bit, exposing the fourth wall, or whatever you want to call it. Stevie Ray's contract was up, and I didn't really have any interest in renewing it, so that's why we're kind of doing this. So, way to get rid of Stevie Ray on TV. He's been fired, and he's going to be dragged off, and he's gone now at this point. And then before the main event, we get Chris Jericho coming to the ring before that matchup. He grabs a mic before Pillman comes out and says that tonight, everyone here in attendance, the tens of thousands of people here in attendance, will see history being made. Earlier tonight, his good friend Lance Storm won the television championship, and here in a few moments, Chris Jericho makes sure that their little friend group, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be double champions, because he's going to become the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion right here, right now. The match itself gets a 99 rating. Let's go. It's about that sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Brian Pillman defeats Chris Jericho in 1721 by pinfall with an air Pillman, making defense number 3 of the World Heavyweight Championship. 99 rating. Same kind of disappointment as before. I'm kind of disappointed that that wasn't a 100 rating. I feel like if I had made it longer, it would have been a 100 rating, but I don't think Jericho doesn't have the psychology to last that long. Jericho's psychology at this time is only like a low 60s, I think. And so, or no, it's low 70s. And so if I had put it for too long, then it potentially would have hurt the fact he wouldn't have had the psychology to last that long. Because I think Pillman's only like a high 70s or something like that. So they wouldn't have had the psychology to do a 20+ minute matchup, unfortunately, against each other. But hey, I'll take a 99. I'll take a 99. Brian Pillman with a 98 rating, Chris Jericho with a 94. See, again, like I said earlier with Malenko, like Jericho's turning a 94 in ring performance. He shouldn't be in the world title picture at this point, but I kind of have him thrust into it because of these in-ring performances he's turning out. Like, he's quickly becoming a top star in the company. So it's like, I got to figure out how the heck I'm going to get these guys who are just absolutely killing it in the ring to not be just doing like basic things that people don't really care about as much, It's kind of like the thing with Cactus Jack right now. Like, I went back to Cactus and Giant because they have great in-ring performances and they can go crazy in these brawls and stuff with each other. But at the same time, Cactus Jack has turned in like a 95 in-ring performance on a regular basis. Like, he should be consistently in the world title picture as well. But nevertheless, Brian Pillman with the victory in a 99 rated segment or match, however. And then afterwards, he just celebrates to a 72 rating. So there you go. Brian Pillman retaining the World's Heavyweight Championship here at Bash of the Beach. Show itself gets a 96 rating. Holy hell, that might have been our best show we've ever done. That might have been our best show we have ever done. Um, yeah, just fantastic stuff there. Um, yeah, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff all around for sure. I'm gonna do something a little different today with this. I'm gonna do a speech. We haven't done a speech since Starrcade, except for Super Brawl when we gave a speech to Steven Regal. Because Megumi Kudo, we're gonna praise her for great performance. She's a little she was a little upset about the loss, about losing the title. I did keep her, I did protect her, and that cleared things up, but she still might be a little disappointed by it. So we'll go ahead and praise her for a great performance there. And then I think I might just. I'm trying to think of anybody else who's on the show that was irritated. Booker T. Booker T will compliment him on a good performance. Actually, we'll praise him for a great performance. He had a really good match there. I'd have to go back into it there, but and he's got some he's slightly irritated. And then I mean, I don't need to, but Brian Pillman, freaking great performance from you, man. The world champion who's just absolutely killing it right now for us. Kudo seemed pleased, Booker seemed pleased, Brian seemed pleased. Okay, there's that. So there you go. Really great stuff here from WCW this time. Bash of the Beach, just absolutely having a great, great time. Son of a bitch. God damn it. All right. This one I might have to cheese. Because he's our world champion. He's a big star right now. I can't. He tried, but he can't seem to shake it. Son of a. God damn it. I don't want to send him to rehab, though. We're going to find him. Oh, small positive impact. He's very happy about that. That's good. I'm glad that you're happy that we find you for doing hard drugs. Now I'm going to have to get the championship off you so I can send you to rehab. Alright, that's probably not going to happen, but if he ends up popping for a second time, we may have to send him to rehab. Ratings for the night, 8.7 million people watching this pay-per-view. Just absolutely killed it. Completely destroyed Triple Mania happening on the same show, or the same night. So there's that. God dang it. I can't seem to win. I gotta get rid of all these people with all their stupid drugs and whatnot. Anyway. Random ranting aside here. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. And we will catch you tomorrow night for an episode of Monday Nitro.